morning, everybody. Please can I welcome everyone to this meeting of the Cabinet Member for Place and Local Plan Decision Day, taking place from the Walton Suite in the Winchester Guildhall. The time is 9:30 a.m. on Monday, the 5th of December. My name is Councillor Jackie Porter. I'm Chairperson and Cabinet Member for Place and the Local Plan. This meeting is audio recorded, live streamed, and will be available on the Council's YouTube channel. Subtitles are available, and advice on how to turn this on is set out on our website. If you're joining us online, please turn your camera and microphone off until your item. Can everyone please ensure mobile phones are also on silent? In the unlikely event it's necessary to evacuate the building, the fire alarm will sound. Please follow instructions given to you by our team. Can I welcome the members of the public to the meeting this morning, and we invite you forward when it's time to make your contribution. Although today we have Councillor Horrell speaking as the local councillor for that ward. Thank you. Today's decision is that the draft revised Littleton Village Design Statement be approved for public consultation. I'm just going to ask Steve Obercheck to just introduce the topic.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, good morning. I'll just be brief. You have before you a draft update of the Littleton Village Design Statement. Littleton have been very good at producing design statements. Their first one in 2000, one of our first in the district. They updated it in 2010 and they're proposing to update it again now. So what you have before you is a draft for consultation, and it's been considered, obviously produced by the Parish Council or their team looking at it. It's been considered by City Council officers from the landscape, environment, transport and strategic planning teams, and the comments that officers made have been fed into it. So we're happy to recommend it to you as suitable for consultation as a draft document. The minimum legal requirement for consultation is for 4 weeks, but our statement of community involvement takes us to 6 weeks consultation on village design statements, so that's what we're proposing. We haven't put dates for when that will be in here. We would recommend that we don't start the consultation until after Christmas, otherwise it will be running over Christmas, which is down very well. So we're proposed to start it first thing in the new year. That will be done. We encourage people to use Citizen Space and do it online where similar way to plan. So we recommend that you approve the document for draft publication. Thank you.
It's really good to see such a comprehensive local plan, and I particularly welcome the clarity of the maps in this paper. The pictures are excellent too, but the maps really demonstrate the really local knowledge that only local people can bring to these statements. And this VDS includes the whole parish on map 2, but map 1 defines the area covered by this VDS, I believe. Forethought of the parish in previous times often tells a story in the development of a village. In this case, it was the purchase of land for the village recreation ground in 1922, 100 years ago this year. It's this cathedral thinking that we must encourage today if we want a place for our children to live well in the future and our children's children. So it's really good to see a design statement. Personally, I've been involved with Littleton because of the flooding issues they've had since 2014, and I know that Councillor Horrell would like to say a few words as well. Over to Councillor Horrell.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to Mr. Obercheck. And yes, thank you for recognising that Littleton have been very consistent in actually having a village design statement and actually updating it, because they're only really valuable if they are up to date. So well done them and for all the efforts that they've put in. Chair, as you said, there's a good deal of history here to understand about the community. And that is always helpful, I think, when considering planning applications. So I hope you will endorse the fact that this will go forward to consultation. I'm sure you will. However, it's just an opportunity to raise with you and with officers the sort of increased interest in village design statements, particularly for communities who don't have one at all and starting from scratch. And I know another in my ward is very keen to get guidance, and Mr. Fox has kindly said his officers will support that parish. but the need to perhaps, and Mr. Opacek and I were talking about this the other day, perhaps have sort of a bit of a playbook to help people when they approach this, particularly if they start from the beginning, as to what good looks like, references to other village design statements they might refer to, and what are the key elements that would be really helpful to include. And I think the more we can define that and feed that back out to parishes, I think that will be helpful and perhaps less resource heavy on Mr. Fox's team ultimately. I am aware that after the helpful webinar session recently on design as part of the local plan process, the whole idea of design and village design statements, neighbourhood plans is much more on the local parish agendas. And again, further guidance from us as we go forward. I know the whole issue of design is still being debated, and again, what will that look like? But how our local communities can all help in the planning process and provide that information. So I certainly advocate for village design statements. As I say, Littleton's been a real trailblazer for that, but also to understand where neighbourhood plans play their part, and the whole question of design and making sure that our parish councils in particular and our town councils are completely up to speed on that. So maybe just a food for thought, Chair, about how we keep the message going as we go into the next iteration of the local plan, but can only endorse all the hard work that the team have done in Littleton to date, and thank you for moving it forward to consultation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And I often think actually a mentor parish from another parish would be useful. We have shared, I think, meetings where we've sat there and listened to people going, oh, I'll finish it next month, I'll finish it next month. And actually, it's about gripping it and going for it, isn't it? I think I do agree with you. But I'd just like to ask Mr. Fox if he'd like to make any comment on that.
Thank you, Chair. I think really valid points, and obviously the main point now is obviously how VDSs pivot to basically local design codes, which obviously is still unravelling. That's something we're going to watch with interest. But also, I do think there's a learning experience from us as officers as we do more VDSs. And I think this is a good example where it's taken a VDSs to another layer, because obviously, as Councillor Porter mentioned, obviously the maps, etc. So I think our learning and understanding of them is evolving in terms of how useful they can be. And certainly the ones that obviously we approved last year were good examples, very good examples of what we did. And I think we're learning as well as officers about what makes a good VDS, and that's all part of our experience as well. So I think they're all valid points, and yes, watch this space, because they are becoming more and more important, and they will kind of eventually pivot towards local design codes, and we've got to enable that to happen. Thank you.
And a letter came out from Michael Gove only last week to say, encourage us to approve good designs and reject poor ones. So I think that was pretty obvious, really. But hey, I think it's good to have it in black and white. With that, I'm very happy to go forward with the plan to put this out to consultation. I'm very clear that it would definitely not be a good idea to do it just before Christmas, but to do it straight after Christmas. It also would muddy the water with the draft Reg 18 plan. So it will go up after Christmas in a time that's, I think it needs to be consulted with the parish council of what time to make sure that people get enough notice of it arriving. It doesn't just turn up on January the 1st or whatever, and they can't advertise it. They need time to advertise that they're going to go out to consultation as well. So I'm very happy to make that decision. Thank you very much.